No one wants shootings. No one wants death. But we need a way to protect ourselves. We need a way to actually end it. And if you look at statistics, if you look at the FBI and their database, well, places where American citizens are not infringed on their Second Amendment rights and they are actually able to carry their firearm lawfully, well, there aren't mass shootings.
I was in the airport yesterday, when this broke, and my boys and I prayed together. Just the families and everyone affected. And, I know the left goes after that. Oh, we don't want your thoughts and prayers and this and that. But I believe in prayer and that works. And I know the power of the wraparound presence of the Holy Spirit and how he can just comfort and heal broken hearts.
What conservatives fail to realize about the criticism to the thoughts and prayers line that gets issued out almost immediately after every mass shooting that happens in our country is that the opposition has nothing to do with downplaying somebody's religious beliefs or not respecting how they are trying to show empathy to the situation, but rather the attitude that thoughts and prayers are where gun laws start and end.
This is a dark time in America. We have a lot of problems, and we're really, really hopeful and prayerful. Prayer is appropriate in a time like this, that the evil can end and this senseless violence can stop. And so that's the statement this morning on behalf of the entire House of Representatives. Everyone wants this to end.
Two things come to mind when I hear Mike Johnson make those remarks. Number one, what a surprise he gives the classic prayer is appropriate in this situation. Basically insinuate, let's not politicize this matter, but how have thoughts and prayers helped? Buddy, we've seen mass shooting after mass shooting after mass shooting and get the same response from so many politicians. Thoughts and prayers of prayer, but nothing's done after that. And then when he says we want to end this and end the senseless violence, drive out the evil, everybody wants it to stop. No, they do not. Not everybody. Because you have gun lobbyists who are trying to make sure that legislation that is going to crack down on gun control will not be pushed. So if there are members of Congress who are going to help them in the department, they're going to make sure they get that bread, right? And that's just what it is. So not everybody wants to stop these situations. They make people think they want to end it, but they're really fine with all these innocent people being killed by individuals because of these weapons that people get their hands on in America. Now, you have people like Lauren Boebert and the senator from Maine, Susan Collins, who mirrored yet slightly differed from Johnson's viewpoint. But then you have some people in the conservative perspective who really broke the typical GOP mold in a much more sinister way.
Frankly, in states that have concealed carry and other permits, constitutional carry permits, you have a much more rapid response to these kind of people who are crazy. We have to have a greater ability for our citizens to protect themselves, because it's clear the law enforcement comes in after the massacre, but law enforcement's almost never there to stop the massacre. This has been true in Europe, it's been true here, it's been true in Israel. So I think we have to think about a whole new strategy, because these kind of people are extraordinarily dangerous, are willing to kill others, have no sense of decency, and frankly, you have to stop them as early as possible.
That's one of the more disgusting things Newt Gingrich has said on a public platform. The fact that you can see what happened in Maine and then come on air and tell people that, you know what the solution would be? Giving more civilians guns. That's right. That is how we're going to prevent all these killings of innocent people in America. Well, how dare you? People are not equipped to be tasked with guns that are going to kill people, whether it's a firearm or whether it's an M19, like a handgun or whatever, or an assault rifle. The whole lot. I just hate how we are so obsessed with guns in America, right? I know we have the Second Amendment and all that, but giving civilians more guns, that is only going to make this issue even worse. Like, if you thought it was bad now, yeah, you try that, Gingrich, we're going to see a whole lot more people who have to be buried. Now, I will say this, what Gingrich is saying is what a lot of weapons and defense contractors want to hear, and which is why it's also not surprising that Fox News is really unwilling to tackle the gun violence epidemic at its roots.
We need to start focusing on mental health.
Tell us why you think it's important to pray in a moment like this.
It calls for faith and prayer.
Why is it that schools aren't protected in the same way that airports?
There are some people who don't want police officers in schools with guns because other people are triggered.
Assault rifle and enhanced body armor.
A notification system to let everybody in the school know what's happening.
A single point of entry.
I don't like talking about this stuff as it happens because I don't think it contributes anything positive.
Parents should be held accountable for raising their children properly.
Ballistic blankets.
We just don't have the resources to get law enforcement there quickly.
How about an executive order for these mental health facilities.
We have to start rebuilding this country and returning to God.
And then you have people like these nut jobs who are damn near impossible to reason with at this point, man.
You know how like the FBI sometimes grooms shooters so that they can get...
all the time they
so
do
you
this.
have school shootings and then they say, gun control, gun control, gun control. I said this on the campaign trail as well. I strongly believe that the FBI works with the Democrat Party to carry out mass shooting false flags so that they can actually push for gun control. I think that the FBI recruits, pays, and trains mass shooters so that the mass shooters can then, do these terrible attacks, and then it provides ammunition for the Democrats to call for gun control.
Oh, they absolutely do.
Who comes up with such a ludicrous theory? I mean, seriously, what is going on in these people's heads? I don't know. They are going to continue to happen, man, so long as politicians are content with seeing these mass shootings solely because, or in part, because the NRA or other gun lobbyists are fattening their pockets to make sure they push against any type of legislation that is going to make background checks stricter and make a statement about gun control where our country will be safer, because not everybody can get their hands on a firearm, whether it's a handgun or an assault rifle. The Sandy Hook massacre marked the end of the U.S. gun control debate. Once America decided killing children was bearable, it was over. And it wasn't just the fact that it was children, people. It was affluent white children that they said, oh, we good. Like, yeah, it's sad, but we have no intention of fixing it. No desire, in some cases, not all politicians, but a lot, desire to make these gun laws stricter to ensure the safety of our aunts and our uncles, our children, our nephews, our nieces, our daughters, our sons, brothers and sisters, our husbands and wives, our friends. Yeah, man, I'm at a loss for words. I really am.